Alright, what's up everyone? This is NinjaDeathStrike bringing you another Pokemon TCGO battle, and I'm using the Machamp deck again. I'm really liking this deck right now. It's just kind of something different and fun, so I've been working on ironing out my deck list. Sorry this recording started a little bit late, but we are still on the first turn. I lost the coin flip, so my opponent gets to go first. He flips over a Skarmory and a Cobalion, and so he's running some kind of steel deck, and he's going to use Skarmory to accelerate his steel energy. Skarmory has an attack for 1 steel energy. It lets you search your deck for a steel energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon, and that includes the special metal energies, so he'll be able to charge up that Cobalion on his bench with special metal energy every turn until I take this thing out or he retreats. So that's what he's going to do here. I have a lone Pichu lead, which luckily I didn't get donked, but it will work out all right. I don't really have anything to do this turn. I don't want to attach an energy. I don't want to play my Professor Oak because I actually have a decent starting hand, especially if he takes a prize early. I can get that twins going. So I'm just going to go right for the playground, set up my bench, and this Pichu kind of goes in the same vein as the Kyurem deck, if you guys have watched that video. I need 2 stage 2s here, so I like to lead Pichu and get set up early because I have a lot of work to do to get setting up and attacking, and Pichu really helps me get that going faster. Unfortunately, it does give my opponent the chance to set up his bench, and he's going to grab 3 more full art Cobalion, so he's obviously spent some money on this deck. But he leaves that 5th bench spot opened. I thought maybe he had something in his hand he wants to play down, but it actually turns out that he plays Vileplume as well, and since I set up my Oddishes, he didn't have any need to grab his. So, oddly enough, he plays a catcher here, which is really surprising for a Trainer Lock deck. Normally you just play Pecom and Candy, but I guess he figured since he didn't need any... Well, I guess he would need Rare Candy. I don't know. That's a weird deck to have in a Trainer Lock deck. But anyhow, it did help him out here because it drags my Machop active, and Machop has 2 retreat, so he's kind of stranded out there. It also is not going to let me get Landorus out quickly and get that damage going with Gia Impact, so it's going to be a bit of a hassle to get Machop out of there. On the other hand, I top deck a Vileplume, so that's cool. Sorry about the screen shift here. Can go ahead and get Vileplume out second turn, which is the ideal for this deck. You want to have a Vileplume on turn 2 to shut off any kind of setup that your opponent wants to do. If they have any stage 2s, they're effectively locked out of the majority of them for the rest of the game. I didn't know that he ran Vileplume as well at this time, so probably could have gotten it up a little bit later, but it was still nice to have down turn 2. And I can also evolve into Machoke and just use Knuckle Down, I think. Yeah, Knuckle Down. Do 30 damage and then pass. So I need to get Landorus up and use Geohammer, yeah, at least once in order to fully realize the potential of my Machamps, because Champ Buster needs damage on your bench to do that big damage, and I'm going to need to be swinging for at least 120 to take out these Cobalions. That first one has, I think, 3 special metals, so it has effectively 150 hit points, so I'm going to need all the damage I can get, and that's why I'm going to end up taking a few of these back. I go ahead and play a Sage. I get the Machamp and the Fighting Energy. I already have a supporter, so I don't need to take one of those. And I really want to have a Machamp Prime ready to go as soon as I can. I don't want to evolve it yet, though, because it won't be able to attack. So instead, I'm going to attach a Fighting Energy to this Machop, and then I realized that I think I end up putting it on Machop. Yeah, realize that that's a really stupid idea, and take it back. Because 1, I can't Rare Candy into Machamp, and 2, I need to get damage on my bench first, so he tells me he loves it when people set up Vileplumes for him, and so that's when I realized that that's why he didn't put down that 5th bench spot. He has Vileplume too, but he didn't need to set it up because I did it for him, so that's awesome. So I'm thinking right here, I'm trying to come up with a game plan. I realize that if I have any chance to win, I'm going to need 2 Machamp Primes in play, because with Cobalion's attack Ironbreaker, I can't attack after he uses it. So if I can get up 2 Machamps, I can use Machamp's Fighting Tag Poke Power every turn to switch them in and out for free, and so the Ironbreaker is not going to hinder me. So here, I go ahead and put the second energy onto Machoke because I realize that, unfortunately, I am probably going to need to retreat him. But on the plus side, it looks like my opponent is not in a hurry to start attacking. He's perfectly content to sit here, power up his Cobalion on the bench, and that is fine with me. Because really, my biggest obstacle is taking down the one that has all of that special metal. If I can take that one down, I should be okay. So I pay the 2 energy to retreat Machoke, then I evolve it into Machamp. I did that because if I had evolved into Machamp first, I would have had to play 3 energy to retreat, so it was much better to retreat, then evolve. And then I use Plentiful Bounty to attach another fighting energy to Landorus. So I'm starting to get some acceleration here. And now I'm going to have to think about what I want to do again. I can put this rescue onto Machamp, that way if he gets knocked out, I'll be able to get him right back in play. And I put it on this one because I have all 3 stages there, so I will get the Machoke back, which is really important with Vileplume since Rare Candy is out of the picture. And now I'm going to just use Professor Oak, hopefully draw into some more fighting energy. I don't get any here, but I do get a second Machoke, which is fantastic. I also get another Machamp. So I'm looking okay. Really, I'm just hoping that he doesn't attack me. Like, if he had retreated and attacked me that turn, I think I probably would have lost this game because I wouldn't have been able to get my energy going quick enough. But luckily for me, he decides to take another turn to set up and then uses a Sage. I see that PDL go into the discard, and then Palkia Dialga Legend plops down onto the bench. You don't see him much because he's terrible, but I mean, I guess it could work here. Again, kind of an odd choice in a Trainer Lock deck since you have to get rid of all the metal energies on him to use his attack, and then he's got a 3 retreat, so he's just stranded out there till he dies, which undoes the good of your attack because you take 2 prizes when you knock him out. So whatever, not my deck. I finally get the energy I need. I go ahead and play Collector just to thin out my deck, and then hit Gaia Hammer, take out Skarmory, draw my first prize, which is going to be a useless Rare Candy, but more importantly, I've put damage on everything on my bench. If he does damage to Landorus this turn, that's going to be fantastic, because it means that my Machamp Primes are going to be able to hit 150 with their attacks. On the downside, Cobalion's other attack, Energy Press, is a bit of a threat. What it does is 20 damage plus 20 more for each energy attached to me. So if I have 4 fighting energies, it's going to do 100 damage, and that's a lot. It's going to be enough to take out my Machamps pretty quickly. So I need to be wary of both attacks. He's going to start charging up PDL down there in the back, and then he does hit me with Ironbreaker. So Landorus can't attack this turn, but that is fine with me. I have 2 Machamps set up, so what I can do here is use Fighting Tag, and I had the option to bring in either the one with no energy or the one with 4 energy, the one with the rescue energy, and I choose to go into the one with no energy because I don't want the other one to take that big attack yet. My plan here was, since his energy acceleration is gone, maybe I can hit him with my first attack, which automatically discards a special energy, and so that's 1, going to make him easier to knock out, and 2, it's going to add a possibility of him not being able to use Ironbreaker the next turn because he needs 3 energies. So he plays his Seeker here, which was a good idea on his part. It's going to let him pick up some energy, so he will have enough to attack. I'm going to think about who I want to pick up. I decide that it would be best just to go ahead and pick up Landorus, heal it up. Even though it's going to take away from Machamp's power, that's going to happen regardless, and it would be better to have another healthy attacker on my bench if I need him to clean up once one of my Machamps go down. So I'm going to start building up that benched Landorus, and now you see where the beauty of having 2 Machamps comes in. He used Iron Breaker, so the Machamp I had active can't attack this turn. However, the benched Machamp can use his Pokepower Fighting Tag to tag in, take all the energy, and he is not affected by Iron Breaker's ability. So he's going to be able to go ahead and attack. I nail him with a Champ Buster for 120 here and take my second prize. So now I'm sitting really good. I've got my active Machamp at 140. There's no way he can take me out this turn. The most he can do is 100 with Energy Press. And if he goes for Iron Breaker, I'm just going to be able to Fighting Tag in again. Now, the thing with Fighting Tag is you can only move the Fighting Energy, so I am going to have to attach the Fighting Energy in my hand to Machamp rather than my Landorus, but that's not a big deal. The one downside is that if this Machamp goes down, all that Fighting Energy is going to go down with him, so I decided to go ahead and end here. And now we run into one of TCGO's wonderful glitches. Full Art N doesn't work. He is supposed to draw 6 cards, but the full art version of N is glitched, so instead he draws the same number I do. I thought they fixed it, but they haven't, so I had no idea that was happening. Since then, I've switched out my full art Ns to regular ones because I know they work. And that's the really stupid thing. Regular N and full art N, exactly the same effect. One of them works and one of them doesn't. So he says, well, that's neat. And I just apologize. I felt so bad because that really did help me. He should have been able to draw full hand, but I thought they fixed it. So luckily, he's a really good sport about it. He doesn't get angry. He just says, I think you probably had me anyways, which is true. I've taken out 3 of his Cobalions. The other one doesn't have any damage on it, so I was in a pretty good position, even though that kind of sucks because he should have gotten 6 cards. So I apologize again. If you're watching this by chance, I'll just apologize again. I'm so sorry. I try to play decks that don't have any of these glitches in. I thought they fixed the full art version. This is the first match I played with it, and it turns out they didn't. So yeah, don't use full art N if you're watching this. Use the regular one. It works how it's supposed to. And who knows when they'll ever get around to fixing the full art one. There are about 20 glitches with the Noble Victories cards. They haven't fixed a single one yet. So anyhow, that's really irritating. But he goes ahead and uses PDL to add 2 prizes to my prizes. That was a dumb sentence. Add 2 prizes to my prizes. Anyhow, like I said, it makes him discard all his steel energies, so now that big fat double prize is just stuck out there. And I'm going to go ahead and use Professor Oak here. I get another fighting energy, so I'm just running perfectly right now. Everything's going according to plan. Fire off a Champ Buster. It's going to hit for 140, and that's just shy of his KO range. I can take him out next turn for sure, draw those 2 prizes back, and he's going to be left without any energy. So he's just going to concede here. I think he does it this turn because he realizes he doesn't have an out. Even if he takes out a Machamp, I'm going to have Landorus ready to go, and then I can just Fighting Tag in with the second one and take out that Cobalion with 130 damage Champ Buster. So he's typing here. I pull it up, I think, just as he concedes. So yeah, I mean, he says good game, see you around. So he hadn't figured out exactly how to use PDL yet. But anyhow, that's going to be the match. I thought it was a really good one. I thought that I played pretty well, so I wanted to showcase that. And it really showed off the power of getting 2 Machamps going at the same time. It's a huge problem to deal with because you're completely immune to catcher, you're immune to all status conditions, since Fighting Tag just lets you switch in and out every turn if you want to. So anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up if you liked the match. And I've got one more thing to tell you guys before I sign off. I'm going to post a link to another YouTube channel on the end of this battle. This is one of my buddies from the Facebook group. Has a fairly new, I think, YouTube channel. He does mostly Pokemon Wi-Fi battles. He's just starting to get into TCGO, but he's got a really unique narrating style, very well done. I really enjoy his videos, so you guys should go check him out and sub to him. His name is RobotnikIsSexy. As I said, I'll leave the link to his channel in my description. Check him out and stay tuned to my channel. I will have more stuff coming your way shortly. Thanks, guys.